Welcome to Give Me the Tea with Shui Wang and Corey Wang.
Yes.
This is episode 3, featuring episode 11 of season 22 of Top Chef, first day in Calgary. As you can see, we're not home right now on our porch. This is actually in my parents' house, which, we haven't seen my parents in, God, a year and a half.
Yes.
Yeah, your mom as well. Yeah. Been crazy. Just been crazy busy. We're not having tea today. Corey's having some coffee.
I'm having the best kind of tea. It's called coffee.
Yeah, and then I'm having some bean water. I know it sounds funny, but this is like green mung bean water or soup. Um, just because I'm feeling a little under the weather, and this is like a perfect way to like detoxify your body. That's at least my mom says. So
Shuai's dad met us at the airport with a coffee cup of bean soup for you.
Yeah, I mean I've been drinking this since I was a kid. Like,
You're feeling better though too.
yeah, anytime you feel unwell, just like this, some reason just helps. It's just water and like dried mung beans, and yeah, it's great.
You want to know what my cure is for feeling better?
Yeah,
Coffee.
yeah. Anyways, this episode, episode 11 of season 22, is our first day in Calgary, which is in the west coast of Canada, I believe, almost like right next to Vancouver, if I'm correct.
Oh gosh,
Or
don't
not
make
too
us
far.
do geography.
I'm terrible at
I
geography.
think it's higher up, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, higher up, but like close, like very close to like the edge of West Coast, maybe.
Don't try and make us do
Okay.
geography. It's over there.
But regardless, it's absolutely just breathtakingly beautiful. Just mountains and the fresh, crisp air, the lakes. I can't say enough good things about how beautiful Calgary is. And I mean, generally, I think West Coast is just gorgeous in that way, with mountains and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, whole different. But I think they definitely took joy in making you drive and see some of those views. I
yeah,
think they did a really nice job of representing sort of just how gorgeous Calgary is.
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Let's get into it.
there's a lot more Shuai Wan in this episode,
Yep.
leading some people like his wife to ask, "Is there too much Shuai Wan?"
There's just comedy gold every episode that they're missing out on.
It is very fun. I do feel like you are something of not their comedian, but their humor running throughout the season. Everything you say like makes me laugh or is funny or I don't know. I think you're so good at that, but to say good at it, it just is you. So bravo for being a funny guy. uh, tell us about this taco.
Taco?
Tell us about
Oh
this
my
whole
God.
cake taco.
Yes, whole cake taco. So uh, uh, most of you might not know this, but there are actual, and I said this on the show. There is an actual dish called a redneck taco. I don't know how well known it is in the South, or maybe it's just one restaurant. Martin's Barbecue has that redneck taco, which is like a hoe cake or Johnny cake, uh, more or less a cornmeal pancake with buttermilk in there. Sometimes cheese, sometimes there's not. But you make this like small cornmeal pancake, and Martin's does it with barbecue on top with like slaw and like barbecue sauce, and you pick it up like a taco, and they call it a redneck taco. As soon as we had that challenge, and they talked about, oh, it has to be a handheld pancake. It's like, oh my God, I'm just gonna make this redneck taco.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that handheld portion of this, I think, really threw people.
yeah, but like I was like, oh, this is very easy. I absolutely know what a handheld pancake is. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's been places that served like pancake tacos with like breakfast sausage. Like
Yeah,
I've seen it somewhere.
that didn't necessarily strike me as the hardest part of it. It was more just, I don't know, come up with your pancake batter, I guess. But
Yeah. So yeah, like I mean, I've been making Johnny cakes or hoe cakes my whole entire career. Like I made it in several different places. So one of my favorite things is like best of both worlds, right? You got that fluffy pancake, but you also got that nice cornmeal bite. And especially if you make it with buttermilk, it's like nice and because of that tangy tartness and like the put cheese on there. So I went with that, and then when I was making that, I was like, oh well, it might get too well, you know, Johnny cake is pretty heavy. It's pretty dense sometimes, and it could be. And like I was worried about if I put toppings on that, the weight of it would kind of make it fall apart.
Hmm.
So now I was thinking about Mexican like taco trucks, how sometimes they put down the cheese on a griddle first and then the tortilla, and then they'll, you know, they'll flip it over and like the cheese will be on the inside. But I was like, oh, what if the cheese was on the outside and acted like a protective layer?
Can't believe it didn't crack though. It didn't get so crispy that it cracked. Was that just a timing
No,
issue?
well, it's just no, it's just like literally just enough to melt and adhere together. So like a like light golden brown, so it wasn't crispy.
Hmm.
They were
Oh,
crispy to
nice.
the point where it shattered. So just like a nice protected layer, and then the cornmeal batter. It had like lapchan in there and cheese and scallions. And then I don't think they didn't show this on the show, but I also drizzled maple syrup on top of the raw batter after I put it down
Um,
because I was thinking about a McGriddle. Um, and then yeah, and then I would flip it, cook the pancake all the way, and flip it back over so the cheesy side's on the bottom. And I was scrambling eggs to order, which I think one of the judges made a comment. They're like, "Are you scrambling eggs to order?" I was like, "How else do you scramble eggs?"
yeah.
Um, I didn't want to give them the best Western breakfast eggs, which are always styrofoamy.
Spongy.
Yeah.
Were you sandbagging the pancakes then?
No, I was cooking pancakes and scrambling
Oh
eggs
my
all
god.
to order. I would like cook like I feel like 6 pancakes at a time and then
Uh,
scramble like a big, not big, like a small saute pan of eggs in a nonstick pan. So they
you
were
had some
nice.
sauces floating on there too.
Yeah, I made it like a avocado chili crisp aioli, so a little heat, little because it was like a taco, you know, so I put some avocado on there, and yeah, the maple and the chili crisp and avocado. You know me and maple syrup. I've been trying to use it in almost every episode. Um, yeah, and I don't know, it's such a fun challenge. I feel like ever since the uh, let's say last episode when it was Punky,
Yep.
yeah, and since that episode, everything's just been really fun. The challenges and just like me, just been having like so much fun
Well, I
doing
wonder if
them.
it's a mindset thing too, right? I think about that all the time. Like if I go into my day and I'm like, all right, what craziness is going to happen today in a fun way, I might actually enjoy it as opposed to going in with that like sense of dread of what craziness is going to happen. Like is it just all literally mindset?
Well, also, I think I was in, yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think I was also in the mindset of, okay, well, I'm top five now. Even if I go home now,
Yep.
I've made it so far. Like, I've accomplished so much that even if I went home after this challenge, then so be it. But you know, I outcooked a lot of chefs, you know, so I was already very proud of myself for gotten that far. So I was like, well, now just like have fun and win or lose or like you're already done so much.
Yeah, you
So
got to location change.
yeah, yeah, it was fun.
So the way they had it set up then, picking through that pantry, like they just did a big pantry setup, and that was part of your 30 minutes to run and see what you had, or did you get to scope that pantry a minute ahead of time and then like run for it?
Well, you get to eyeball the pantry a little bit when you get there, but they tell you not to look, so it's more of a surprise. I don't know what it is about Top Chef, and maybe they can. Maybe this is part of the challenge. Like one of the producer always likes to tell us, but they always spread things out so freaking far apart.
It's
So
got to
the
be.
table is like I don't know, like a quarter mile. It's not that far, but it's like very far from the pantry. So you had to run to the table when you front your start, and then run all the way back to the pantry. So yeah, there's like a bunch of dry flowers, different kinds of flowers, and cornmeals and whatever. Um, you know your standard sugar, salt, and stuff like that. And there's obviously maple syrup and chili crisp, and just like very pretty well stocked, honestly. And then coolers full of like dairy proteins. It was honestly like a great little pantry. It wasn't like big, but plenty for
I like that it had
what
the
we wanted
lapchon
to
in
do.
it. That was surprising.
That was very surprising. I did not expect to see lapchan. There was breakfast sausage, like different kinds, I think.
Hmm.
But I was like, oh, lapchan.
No question. I know that before you left, we were generally worried about how well stocked with Asian ingredients the kitchens were.
Yeah.
Like obviously you cook Chinese food and that requires lots of base sauces and things like that. So we didn't know if you should take those as part of your specialty items. How
Yeah.
well did you find the kitchen stocked? with
Uh,
Asian ingredients?
it had very standard things, like your soy sauce and your sesame oil and stuff like that. But like stuff that I really wanted was like Chinese cooking wine or Chinese black vinegar, or just like
That stuff, no.
yeah, just like I don't know, like I think ingredients that only Asians use on a regular basis. You won't be able to find that. But I think that's also again part of the challenge, is trying to not dependent on those things.
Um, and then Yahoo! You took this one.
Yahoo! Yeah,
Yahoo!
10 grand in the bank, which makes it $20,000 now, which is pretty cool. Like for a while there, I won after I won that first 10. It was just like crickets. I feel like I was on top plenty for quick fires,
Hmm.
but never winning. I jokingly said I don't think they put this in their interview, but uh, always a bridesmaid, but never the bride.
Oh,
Uh,
ha na
Wah,
na.
nah,
But
nah.
true, you were always up there, but it was just never sort of that like best dish.
Yeah,
And I think there's something nice about that show that you would be like, oh, good, Lana took that one though. Like
yeah,
you're kind of happy when your friends like also got it.
yeah, because it's exciting for other people to win too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm not good at competition. Someone else win, please.
So one of your rewards for this was you all got to go have dinner with Kristen. Tell us a little bit
Oh
about that.
yeah, that was very special. Kristen took us to Class Clown Burgers in Calgary. Oh my God, let me tell you something. This is like literally. I mean, we don't eat a lot of beef because but and it was literally the best damn cheeseburger I ever had in my life. Like literally in my whole entire life.
It did look like an us restaurant.
Yeah.
Like watching you guys walk in there, I was like, oh my God, we would rip it up.
Oh my God. Yeah. The restaurant was small and quirky and just very warm and fun and great wine selection, like killer wine selection.
Ooh.
And then yeah, the really really good like burgers, like different kinds of burgers. Their chicken sandwich was insanely good. They also had a fish sandwich that was super good. God, I can't. No, different tots, like cheesy tots, regular tots. Tots with like I think there's chili on it. Fries. Yeah, that was a fun, wonderful restaurant. And besides the food, it was nice to actually sit down with Kristen and like just talk about food and careers and our lives and where we're going and being top five and what that means for us. Like I think we all expected to have some kind of exposure and like attention from the show, but I think Kristen was like, you don't even understand the amount of attention that you're gonna get just from being top
Which I
five.
think is still fair. Like, I
Yeah,
still don't understand the amount of attention. And I think it's interesting because what the show showed you about her saying that thing about what you want from this is exactly what you had told me was your biggest takeaway from that sit down with her. That you were like, she said you have to think about what like you want to get out of it and where you want to go with this. And then that's exactly the part that they showed.
yeah.
I think it's cute too because, obviously they kind of talk about you guys all being like a special group or like a good season. Um, and you know that you're all pretty close, or maybe like I just know that you're all close, but let's talk about how much you guys sort of did get to hang out and that there were like game nights and like family meals that you cooked together. Like you guys are at this point very close friends.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, this is even before top five. I think when everyone was still there. From like from the get go and back in Toronto, we hang out together we have like a day off. We have time off like between shoots sometimes, and when we're allowed to hang out, like we would hang out in the apartment together and like we like do family meals. So like everyone would bring something from like our pantry like that we cooked at in our own apartment and we bring it together and just eat food together and like or like we get takeout and we'll just watch movies together. I can't remember some of the movies that we watched, but like some like a lot of us like funny stuff. None of us like I don't think we watched anything scary because I think we weren't like in that
It's yeah,
headspace
more
or some
don't
of
need
us
more
didn't.
drama.
Yeah, some of us didn't like scary movies, and so yeah, like we hung out like as often as possible. We played a lot of Uno. Corvin would play Uno as Prison Rules, which um, and then like Monopoly Go as well. and got like very hyped and like violent sometimes.
Oh my God, fun.
But it was so much fun. Yeah, it was nice because it's like a, you're just intense, intense, intense cooking, 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 and then like a nice day to just kind of hang out and relax and be human, and not remind ourselves that we're friends, but like kind of reinforce that friendship even further.
Yeah. Can we talk about your apartment kitchen pantries?
They really take care of you on the show, so you're like whatever you want basically.
Yeah. Like you
So
got to go with a whole list of things you wanted them to buy
yeah,
for your apartment, plus they get you to go food all the time.
yeah. So it's like 3 meals a day plus like that's like I don't need more pantry stuff. You're buying me 3 meals a day. But yeah, I will have I got chamomile because like I didn't have anything else to help me fall asleep. So I thought a little sleepy time tea would help me fall
Hmm.
asleep, which was it really did help. I was drinking it every night, I would just pass out. Um, I always had some kind of corn chips, just stress eat if I did bad on the day or something. I always had peanut butter
No.
because you know my love for peanut butter.
Yes. Did you
Uh,
have dates to go along with this peanut butter, perchance?
yeah, I did. I dipped the dates in the peanut butter as my little dessert. Uh, what else did I have? Just like, oh, I had eggs. 'Cause I would just eat a hard boiled egg in the morning and
Mm.
like lots of green juice. That was my breakfast every day.
Oh,
Green
nice.
juice and eggs.
Well, and they would come and knock on your door, right? And ask, like, do coffee runs for you. This was the part you got to
Yeah,
see really cool things and go cool places, but I was like very jealous of the
yeah. I
of the treatment of like
yeah,
how pampered you guys were when it came to food and beverage.
yeah. I miss Desi and the crew so much just because like yeah, every morning there's coffee and breakfast and there's lunch and then between lunch and dinner was snacks and then there's dinner and then yeah, just it was yeah.
Yeah. I did want to ask something, and I was going to tie it back into class clown. But there was a clown at the Yahoo event, and I was like, "Whoa, calm down, lady!" But you were like, "No, that was literally the rodeo clown."
Yeah, at the Stampede.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which also like if we ever go, we should find out when that is
Oh my god, looks
in
amazing.
in Calgary, like what time of the year. Like I would like to absolutely go to the Stampede Rodeo. There's just like
Calgary Tourism Board.
all yeah, all these different vendors just make pancakes, and yeah, there's several um ladies dressed in clown
Were
office.
they all the rodeo people then that you were
I
serving?
think I believe they were all the rodeo people. Well,
Ah,
not
that's so
everyone
cool.
was a rodeo person at the event, but I think the ladies dressed in clown outfits are actually work at a rodeo. The ones that distract the angry bulls from hurting the whoever's riding it. So yeah, it's pretty dope.
That's pretty cool.
That's badass. That's a badass job.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, like top five badass jobs.
yeah,
Speaking of Calgary and all of their beef farming and all their cowboy things, you were then moving right into a beef challenge.
yeah. Beef and berries. Two of the big things in Alberta. Obviously, really great beef, and then berries is all the indigenous berries that's been there just for forever.
Did you get to taste every one of those
I
berries?
tried most of the berries, and some of them I'm pretty familiar with. Obviously, like a lot of us are, but some of the other ones are not more often seen in the stateside or anywhere. That's more specific. Calgary was very nice. Yeah, they're all like very different. Different in texture and tannin and sugar levels, and just all very delicious in their own ways. But yeah, like that was kind of a hard challenge for me personally, just because we don't eat beef, we don't cook beef, just because it's not sustainable, and so to I mean, I worked at a steakhouse for so
So you
long,
came up in steakhouses,
right? But
so
that
it's
was like
not like you're
years
a
and years
stranger
and
to
years
it.
ago,
And yet you didn't also pick a steaky cut of beef, so there was that.
Yeah, because I figure, well, there's no like, how much can you really do with a cut that's meant to be seared and roasted? Like a filet mignon is like how much besides tartar, carpaccio, roasting it, grilling it. Like, what else is there really? How,
Right.
how creative can you really get with that? And then like same with like ribeye or New York strip or and the main cuts. So it's like,
You're making steak at
yeah,
that
you're making
point.
steak. Yeah, I really wanted
Yeah.
the cheeks, but I didn't realize. I guess I didn't realize we were racing to go get it. I thought everyone was just casually walking, and then everyone started running. I was like, oh no. So by the time I ran up uh, to the table to grab a piece, it's like the cheeks were taken. So I saw the short ribs, like, all right, yeah, let's do some short ribs. And then drew the knife of black currant.
This I like this. Honestly, this is a good elimination challenge because it's smart and it really demands something out of you as chefs to make these two ingredients work together. There's almost
Yeah,
like there's very little gimmick about it and it's more just it's interesting. I think it made you all have to stretch and flex.
yeah, for sure. I mean, top five now, right? So it's like the obviously skill levels very high amongst all of us. So it's like it's not only do you have to adhere to the challenge and make beef and berries shine, but also at the same time, it's like, okay, I need to make sure I either outcook the other four, or you're gonna have to hope that someone makes a mistake. Because right now the level of talent is very high. So the judges are gonna start nitpicking things, but that's the way you have to do it,
Yeah.
because how else do you pick
Help.
out who's
Someone's
better?
got to go home.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So um, yeah, I mean, I made something that was, I think, dear to me at least. Like I thought about braising short ribs, and I was trying to think about my mom's braised pork,
Mhm.
and she used to do it with a shank, or like uh, usually just shank, I guess, or pig's feet, um, where she would caramelize sugar and oil, then add in the aromatics and the protein, and then slowly cook it. So the browning color, it's called browning. The color is not from soy sauce. Like I think often people think that it's soy sauce byproduct, but it's actually the browning of the sugar that helps add the color to the protein.
Yum. It
So
is one
yeah,
of my favorite things that your mom makes.
I mean,
Also, when you said that and thought about her pork belly, I was like, oh, if those are the flavors they're eating, like
yeah,
unmatched. It's
yeah.
amazing.
And I thought about you. It's like, oh yeah, I need to do a little something Polish. So I made stuffed cabbages. Yes, braised short rib and stuffed cabbage on top of. Originally, I think I was planning to just do plain congee, but then I saw this bag of wild Alberta rice. I was like, oh, that's amazing. Let's use something that's from this region. So I made it like wild rice congee. I put some of the berries in there as well. And I knew, yeah, like, Tom made a comment about how it's heavy on heavy. So it's like, yeah, it's like congee is obviously dense, and then the stuffed cabbage is slightly dense. But then, like, I was hoping that tart berry sauce will kind of cut everything nicely.
Yeah, it's interesting. I can't kind of imagine the flavors on this one because that berry sauce like throws me a little of like what that does to the dish.
Yeah, it's like, it was oddly like tart and sweet and savory.
Hmm.
Because it's like, I cannot remember exactly what I put in there. I remember there was tons of berries, and there was soy sauce, and I think there was like ginger in there as well. Um, but like I stewed it for a very long time, and it's like I remembered it going well together. But also, I just think that part of it was unlucky for me, was that I got, so here's the up and down of the episodes. Like I got 30 extra minutes cook time than everyone else because I won the last elimination challenge.
Yes.
But
Yahoo.
then, Yahoo! But then I had to go last because I had 30 extra minutes. So the judges already have four
Oh,
courses of
interesting.
beef, right? So of course, then when I served mine, it was like, well, first of all, it was a large portion because I don't know how to cook small.
The tank.
Yeah, well, I made like a stuffed cabbage. I was like, I always imagine it being dainty, like, like a little stuffed cabbage, but it was like, boom, stuffed cabbage. Anyway,
I will
boom,
say
big scoop of
they
kanji.
put it you couldn't remember how you did on this one. So watching it back, it was nerve-wracking because, you had had ups and downs that you would do great in the first quick fire and then you wouldn't do so great in the elimination or you'd just be middle or something. So
Yeah,
you couldn't remember how you did. So it was nerve-wracking. And then they showed that plate hit the table and I went, oh no. But then the first comment was, this is so wonderful. And you're like, oh, okay.
yeah. I don't know how to cook food that's not comforting for people. When I try to cook food that's not comforting, it just comes out weird because like I don't know how to make it. So it's like it's almost like don't force yourself to do things that you don't know how to do. Like yes, there's like something to be said about, oh yeah, let's learn new ways, new techniques. But it's like if you're something that you're not passionate about, like why cook that way?
Right.
So I think especially in cooking,
Well,
like
and I think you kind of, by this stage, you kind of figured out what they were looking for. And I remember earlier on, Kristen said something that I don't think they aired about, it doesn't need to be the perfect dish. It needs to represent these. Like, it doesn't need to have the way you cook, which is like something crunchy, something acidic, something this, something that,
yeah,
like it doesn't need to be perfect in that sense. It needs to like perfectly showcase what the challenge is.
yeah, for
So,
sure,
like Massimo made steak with fruit with berries and that was it, like no sides, no nothing, but that's what they're looking for. And
yeah,
same with you, like the beef and the berries are well represented.
yeah,
So it's like I think it's also starting to click.
yeah,
And now it's just about, yeah, what does your food come across as? And you are a comforting cooking chef.
yeah. And I think in the retrospect, probably didn't even need the kanji, because it's been stuffed cabbage or the berry sauce, and they would have liked it. But regardless,
Yeah.
I was middle.
Can we talk about no, you were top three.
Oh, was I top three? Oh yeah.
Yes. Can we talk about it's cracking me up that oh well, two things.
Okay.
One is that you had 3 extra hours, but you also had some kitchen
No, I have
malfunctions.
30 extra
Oh
minutes.
my god.
I did not cook for 6 hours.
Your short ribs were, how are they still not tender? But your short ribs, you had some cooking malfunctions, so you had 30 extra minutes. But what happened to your pressure cooker?
Oh yeah, the pressure cooker wouldn't come up for some reason, and like I didn't over stuff it or anything. Often, like if you over pack it above like the maximum level, it won't bring it up as fast, or it won't cook it at all. It's just the pressure cooker wouldn't work. So the first hour was just
Oh my god.
lukewarm beef in there. So then the stove only had 4 burners, I think, maybe 8 burners the most. That kitchen was so tiny. It was just one of the smallest kitchen we cooked in since on the whole entire show. Um, so everyone's gone before me, so everyone's all over the stove, and I had no space to put a stovetop pressure cooker on.
Ugh.
So that was just like sweating bullets, because just like, yeah, like yes, I had extra 30 minutes, but I had no time to cook anything. But eventually, I did get it on the stove, and it made it happen. But yeah, it was a struggle there for a
Ooh.
second. Yeah.
That's why when we weren't sure how you were doing, when they had that cut of you being like, I'll just chop these like slightly less tender parts into the rest of it, I was like, oh no, they're
Yeah, it
gonna
was
say it's chewy.
no, it wasn't chewy at all. It wasn't chewy. It was like tender, but it wasn't melting,
That fall
fall
aparty.
apart spoon tender. It was perfectly fine to eat. Like I would have preferred it. I prefer my meat not mush. Like I fucking hate filet mignon. There's no texture. There's no texture. There's no flavor. I don't like ribs that are like falling off the bone. From cooking barbecue for so long, not so long, just the amount that I have cooked and learned from other pit masters, and learned ourselves, that falling off the bone ribs just means it's dry ribs, because all the moistures are gone.
Hmm.
You're just like, you cooked all the fucking flavor out of it. So like I like mine personally like a little bit toothy, like everything, like pork bellies and all that. Just because, yeah, just it should have texture. Food shouldn't just be mush. You can't just eat fucking baby food all the time.
Well, especially you, Mr. I will eat all the cartilage off of your bones for
I
you.
love cartilage. That's my favorite part.
Hmm. So you were top three, which means there is a bottom. And
Yeah.
Arlana went home this
I
round.
know, my sweet baby. Losing Lana sucks. I don't think I ever met in my whole entire career anyone like her as a chef. Just this such a hype person, and like so full of energy, so full of happiness and joy.
What was it that she always had you guys saying? Focus and
A lot of, well, it's like the producers always tell us every time before we start a day, a lot of focus, a lot of emotions. Because sometimes we start at 8 a.m. in the morning,
oh.
and it's like they want to see you excited when you walk into the kitchen.
Yeah, no one wants to watch sleepy chefs show
Yeah,
up.
like bright eyed and bushy tailed, right? So they're always like a lot of emotions, a lot of focus. So Lana just kept took that
Oh.
and like kind of told us all the time. And she would always say a lot of focus, a lot of emotion, make it cute. And just like, yeah, like was like cheering everyone on no matter what. right? And then like she's also just very talented, so like soulful, and I don't know, like also um very passionate, but also such a just a silly little girl,
Hmm.
when she wants to be. Got just so many wonderful things about Lana, and like truly like one of my favorite person on the whole entire show.
She had one of the nicest outlines ever,
Yeah,
that made me tear up, and just about how, she's just going to miss her friends. And I messaged her about it, like, dude, you were so fucking sweet. And that
yeah,
was like the nicest out message ever. She's like, I'm just so happy that they kept that part about, just missing my friends. And like, it's still
yeah,
important. And you guys are still all important to each other.
yeah,
Yeah, just, like number one, that one.
yeah. And they don't show that much, but like, yeah, like all get like teary eyed now in every episode when people leave, just because, yeah, like we bonded so much. But yeah, Lana is like, it's hard. Really sucks to see her go, because like, we've been hyping up about like cooking outdoors and hoping that's coming up some point,
Uh,
and I really wish like we could have gotten there with her, and like, yeah, like I don't know, it's
You do a lot
wasn't
of
meant to be.
one-liners on the show, and I feel like she was my other favorite one-line,
Yeah,
like king.
yeah,
Just the things that she would say in her interviews, and she's just terrific. So
yeah,
naturally good at all of that.
yeah. But like we kept just reminding ourselves, like, yeah, this is not like goodbye forever. We're only going to see each other more, because
Yeah,
now
it's
we're
not
like,
goodbye forever, and like somebody has to go home.
yeah, now we're going to see each other in real life, and like get to have the fun that we don't get to have on the show because of restrictions. So like this, yeah, but just, yeah, so glad that I've met her, and like, so how kismet it was to like not get picked for the Wisconsin season, the Canadian season instead, and then like meeting Lana, So yeah, very very, I feel very kismet about all that. So regardless, it sucks to see her go, but I'm glad I made that friend.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, thank you for watching episode 3 of Give Me the Tea. Uh, if you love watching this, please give us a follow at the Shraiwan, Korewan, Jacker Philly, King Barbecue, all of it, on both Instagram and YouTube, also the Shraiwan. If you have any questions for the upcoming episodes, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and we'll try to answer the best we can. And we'll see you next week.
Yay. Thanks,
Ciao.
friends.